Journalists, citizen journalists and alt media producers, listen up. Every police force across England and Wales is now set to appoint a specialist police officer to deal with crimes against news professionals, after revelations via a National Union of Journalists survey found that more than half of workers in the sector had experienced online abuse and nearly a quarter had been physically assaulted. Now, I have to mention that these results don't say whether the abuse or assault came at the hands of the police, but if they are to have a dedicated cop to deal with this kind of thing, then I suggest that many journalists, citizen journalists and alt media producers who are regularly assaulted and abused by police should in fact report these occasions where they have been targeted at protests and rallies. The action plan being drawn up by government is said to be to help protect journalists from abuse, harassment, threats of violence and intimidation, with good old Bojo saying that freedom of speech and a free press are at the very core of our democracy, and journalists must be able to go about their work without being threatened. The cowardly attacks and abuse directed at reporters for simply doing their job cannot continue. This action plan is just the start of our work to protect those, keeping the public informed and defend those holding the government to account. But you can bet your bottom dollar that in reality they are not talking about protecting all journalists, just the ones working for the outlets big enough to cause them problems. But let's face it, if it's good enough for mainstream media, it's good enough for alt media. After all, we're all simply trying to do a job too. To assist journalists, the Media Lawyers Association is to produce new guidance so that journalists can recognise when abuse goes beyond what is acceptable and breaks the law. Changes in law are expected through the online safety bill that is currently going through Parliament. Oliver Dowden, Culture Secretary, adds, attacks on journalists are not only horrendous for those individuals, but an assault on our democracy. Today's action plan will make sure journalists can go about their vital work without fear. But just as we protect the physical safety of journalists, we must protect their freedom to write and report too. Tackling worrying trends on online censorship of journalistic content and controversial views, we will ensure our forthcoming online safety laws build in robust protections for journalism. The National Police Chief Council has also appointed a Chief Constable to oversee crimes against journos at a national level. So I'm going to ask anyone out there who reports news, in whatever format, whether paid or not, to let me know if you ever have to contact one of these so-called dedicated specialists and how it goes for you. I would genuinely be interested to know if you get the same level of support as one of the mainstream propaganda pushers. Big thank you to channel supporters one and all, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.